Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my friend who's been really amazing, and I've been following her story since the early days of the internet, actually. And Tory Christman is on the air right now. And thanks for joining us, Tory.
You are welcome, and hello to everyone that's listening.
Yeah. Can I ask you just about your life a little bit right now? I know it's.
As far as my life right now?
Well, sure. Well, no, I want to tell. Yeah. How are you doing right now? Are you happy? Is everything good?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. I'm in love. I'm having a great time.
Oh, you're in love. Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, no need to rub it in everyone's face.
I'm not. No.
Oh, yeah. We don't get to hear.
I'm just telling you, I'm very happy. It's Christmas time. I love Christmas time.
I do too. Now, when you were, can you tell our listeners a little bit about how long you were in the Church of Scientology for, and like maybe a little bit about how you got into it?
Okay, I will. First of all, I'm going to preface it with when I got in 1969, which is probably before many of your listeners were born. They didn't have the internet. So there was a lot of the things that people that listen and hear about our stories, they think, how could they do this with all this, knowing all this stuff? But none of that was available to us at all.
Right. And
so I was in for 30 years, a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a long time.
Did you get in? So you got in 69. I know this much about Scientology around 69 is that a lot of bohemian artist type people were getting into it in the LA area, a lot of actors and musicians and stuff. So were you like around that kind of scene?
I was totally around that. I helped supervise John Travolta when he got Welcome Back, Kotter, which was like his first big thing.
Whoa, you did?
Damn.
You were involved. You were involved in some of that. Were you involved in some of that because of the church, or were you working in the entertainment industry?
Oh no, because of the church. I was at Celebrity Center. They call it. They still call it that to this day.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah.
And right now tonight, just so you know, they're having a Hollywood Christmas parade, and they do this all the time. They bring out the celebrities. They pitch it. It's supposed to make everybody think maybe I better do Scientology because Tom Cruise and John Travolta are in it, and blah blah blah. But the truth is, it is just a gigantic, awful con. They're after your money. They're after your life. That's it.
Yeah.
And they will say about me, oh, she's crazy. And all I say to you is, you don't have to believe me. Go on the Internet and look at both sides and learn both sides, because all of us who are out know if you learn both sides, you will never walk through those doors.
Yeah,
ever.
totally. I'm so fascinated about, let me just touch on the early days real quick.
Okay.
So those early days when you were hanging, there was like a lot of cool musicians and actors involved. Did all of that seem like I don't know? It all seemed like everything was okay and you guys were doing the right thing. Did any doubts ever sink in that things were a little bit wrong?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But it's one of those things like peer pressure. If you study mind control at all, anybody can. I've talked to academics who study mind control, and they say anybody can get suckered into a cult if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean they all have to be bad off. Some people are doing great, and they get with them and go, we can make you greater.
Now, you work close with Travolta. Do you think that Travolta ever has these doubts, or is he totally buying into everything? Or do you think, as the documentary Going Clear kind of implied, is that they have dirt on him so he can't speak out?
I think it's a combination of both. I'm pretty sure he probably has his own things, but they have that's how mind control works. You kind of just push it into a closet. I'm not going to think about it. It's sort of like, Gone with the Wind. I'll think about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's just, you're busy. They're always like, we're busy now. We've got to help planet Earth. And, I'll even go and talk to them and say, look, I get it. You think you're helping planet Earth, but look at all the homeless people. Look at all the people that can't eat. There's just so many things that show that they haven't helped anybody, really.
Yeah. Now,
that was part of my waking up.
Wow. I want to talk about your waking up in a little bit, because I feel like I was kind of there because I was reading the news group at the time. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
cool.
I saw it all. I saw it all go down, and it's something I'll never forget. But just so going back to the 70s and when everything was funky and fresh, were there like crazy parties going on? What was like? Because Hollywood,
There were totally crazy parties. It was like Peyton Place. Everybody was screwing everybody. Now, I know there's Scientologists that'll hear this and go, that's not true. But, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It really was. And there was a lot of shit that went down behind the scenes. But for we public, and I was even in the Sea Org for a while, which is there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week you're working there for $35 a week, which they still pay about. They work, it's total slave labor.
Yeah.
But people do it because they really believe they're doing something good, which they're not. But you're also cut off, same as you were back then. You can't really read, look, or listen to anybody like myself.
Now,
because it'll ruin your route to freedom. So people they shut it off.
Yeah, and what you're saying, Tory, like we're talking about your experience in it, but like it's still happening. The slave labor aspect, which is crazy. Like there's all these resources now where we know everything about Scientology. You've spoken out, but it's still happening. People are still getting involved.
Not much. So that's the difference. Back when I was in, there were 200 people on their big course. Now there's about 4.
Really?
So, there's a massive difference in that there were just tons of people. I mean, that was part of the attraction. It's like, there must be something great here. Look at all the people that are here.
Now, because this is where I'm kind of at with it. I'm like, every year it's like, okay, Xenu.net is a thing, or OT3 was released on the internet way back in the day. And I'm like, okay, that's it. It's over with. Nothing happened. Okay, Operation Clambake is a thing. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, the anonymous thing with all the...
Okay, well, first of all, you saying nothing happened, I have to stop you right there.
Okay.
That's not true. Tons, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, just my little videos alone from ToryMagoo44.
That's your YouTube channel.
And tons of people on YouTube have watched my videos and left Scientology because of those videos. And
awesome.
Xenu.net is another one, XenuTV.com. There's just tons of information, and people do watch it and learn and wake up and leave or not join. Some people, thousands of people, I would say I've kept thousands of people from joining the Church of Scientology.
Wow. That's amazing because, as an outsider, I have people close to me who are in the church and have gone to the church, so it's kind of crazy to me. And then I saw Going Clear. And I'm sorry, I felt that. I feel like I'm jaded, and you see it on the front line more than I do. You see the people.
You feel like you're jaded in which way?
That I feel like it's just too powerful, and there's nothing I can. Because I thought, okay,
no.
Going Clear's coming out now. This is really it. And then again, they're still around. And so, do you think we're going to see the end of the church in our lifetime, or do you think it's just going to dwindle and not many people will be involved?
I personally am not going to say that because I don't know if it is. It could. It should. David Miscavige should be in prison. But whether that ever happens, because our country was formed on religious freedom, there's a huge protection with religion. And I say to anyone, if you want to help out, go after their nonprofit status because these people are 100% a for-profit status. They are making money on every single thing that they do. Everything. What
would you say to someone that says, well, if we take away Scientology's nonprofit status, we have to take the Catholic Church nonprofit status? You can't just take one church away.
Just keep
going. The Catholics don't have a price tag on every single thing you do in the Catholic Church. They don't. I'm a Catholic. I can speak from experience. They have a donation plate, but Scientology doesn't have a donation plate. They have a price sheet, and you either pay it or get out. That's it.
Tory, a lot of people...
there's a huge difference.
Yeah, exactly. Tory, a lot of people say there is something to the process in science, of the auditing and stuff, and the tech does work. Are you one of those that believe that? Do you still use the tech now that you're out?
I'm not.
Nice.
No, I started as a Buddhist. I was studying Eastern religions, and I realized in Scientology, yes, there are some things that work. Obviously, we'd be kind of insane if we stayed for 30 years and there was nothing that worked.
Yeah.
But the things that work are out there mostly for free, or at the most $20, or at the library for free. A lot of the really good stuff Hubbard just took, stole, copied, and re-put out as saying it's from L. Ron Hubbard.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And in the old days, he used to acknowledge a lot of the people that he quoted. He used to say, these guys are my buddies. Now Miscavige has wiped all that out, and it's just L. Ron Hubbard. No, it isn't.
Wow. So you were in the church for a long time while he was alive. Did you ever have any personal contact with?
I didn't, but my husband did. My ex-husband was. His family got in 1950 when Dianetics was written.
Wow.
And his mother and father and my ex-husband met L. Ron Hubbard at different congresses. My husband only met him once, but it was a kind of a fun story. But anyway, yeah.
And so, just real quick, I want to let people know. So, like, I was reading before there was like the internet as we know it now. I was reading news groups and stuff, and I was reading alt religion Scientology. And tell me if I'm wrong. I believe that you were there sent kind of like as a spy from the church, and then you actually started talking to the people on that message board?
What actually happened, and this gets misquoted all the time, actually happened...
I'm glad I'm getting the right story then.
My auditor and best friend, an auditor's like a counselor. So he was my counselor, and he was one of my best friends. And he said, look, we've got to handle these evil critics on the Internet. I knew nothing about the Internet. He said, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Please, no one else can do this, but we think you can. Go open up a phony, he didn't say phony, he just said it's just an account, an Internet email account. And I didn't know what that was at the time.
Yeah, I still don't.
Just tell them you need to pay cash, you need a password, that's it. And I did. I just bullied my way in, and I got it. And he came back, and he had a grin from ear to ear, and he said, oh, my God, you've just changed the history of the Internet. And I was like, how can I change the history of the Internet when I don't even know what it is? So long story short, they got me flying around opening up different phony email accounts, right? I didn't know what they were doing with them, and I asked him, what are you doing with them? And he said, I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you, they'll put you in deposition forever, and you don't want that. So this way you can just say, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So I was kind of in the dark, but then I grew up in Chicago, and these guys were acting, I was kind of around some of the mafia guys, and these guys were acting really mafia-like.
Whoa.
And the worse it got, and I started thinking, maybe David Miscavige paid $10,000 to hire some mafia guy to hit these guys, right?
Uh-huh.
I better go look.
Oh, shit.
And the day I looked, if you were on there every day, the day I looked, they had posted baking recipes. Because for all your listeners, in a news group, you can just post a topic, and then they would just spam it all the way down. And their view was, if we can get it on the second page, nobody will read it.
Yeah, the Scientologists would just spam the shit out of everything. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, and that's what. Once I saw the baking recipes, and in between it were these people saying, "I didn't say that. Scientology is changing my words," and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the church. They're stopping free speech."
Wow.
Okay, so roll forward. I leave. I mean, I start really waking up, and I quit working for them. I say to my best friend, I can't do this anymore, right?
Uh-huh.
But now I'm really freaked out. So I get on the Internet, and I stopped talking to him, I stopped talking to the church, and I made 4,000 posts in 4 weeks, from June till July 19th. And I woke up. I met Andreas during those 4 weeks.
That's the guy who ran Xenu.net.
Xenu.net. He's from Norway.
He opened up this whole thing, this blowing open.
Yeah, he opened up the whole thing and helped me, wake up and leave. So there you go. But that's
awesome.
the truth of what happened.
That's crazy. And you had to disconnect from your husband, from your best friend, right? I mean, when you left,
I didn't have to. They disconnected from me.
That's what happened.
I never disconnected from anybody. But I lost all my 30-year friends and my husband of 27 years overnight. And if anybody wants to know more about my escape, because that's a whole really cool thing to hear about.
Yeah.
If you go to Tory, Tory, Magoo, like Mr. Magoo, 44, the number 44, and that's just on YouTube. And type in +escape. I made a 10-part series about the escape because it's just such a cool story. But it's a really long story.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what's crazy is there's a lot of every Scientology escape story isn't easy. It's all very hard to get out. So
no, they chased me across the country. The Tampa police got me out of the Tampa airport.
Is the harassment still going on with you?
Well, they've got lies up on the Internet about me every day.
Yeah.
So as long as that's going, I consider that harassment. And they won't talk to me. They won't hear my side. And nothing. So that's libel, basically.
Tory, what advice would you give to any of our listeners or people that have people joining a cult or getting involved in something shady? Like, what do you say to a family member or friend that's getting too close?
Well, it
to
depends on the person. Everybody's different. You can't. There's no like blanket cookie cutter. Do this and that'll happen. But you have to listen to the person, find out where they're at. If they're trying to get into Scientology, I would say try to go on the internet and look at different videos that people have done and find one that your friend or family member might go, oh, yeah, and show them that. And if there's someone that's thinking about joining Scientology, same thing. I mean, you can tell them, look, I can't tell you what to do, but you have to read both sides. Because if you just read their side, you're going to completely, and you can quote me, they're going to completely hear one side and get cut off from the other side. So before you get in and get cut off, learn both sides. And they'll never join once they learn both sides.
What OT level did you make it to?
7. And my husband was 8, and he was complete, absolute wreck.
Oh, really? Because by the time
you get much worse as you get higher.
That's crazy, because the claim is as you reach OT 5 and 6 and 7 is that you have full command of the English language. You're like a Jedi. You can say anything.
I know more people that are dead or are insane or have committed suicide from OT 5 through 8. My dear friend was a review auditor for OT8. That means you correct things that are screwed up. And she left Scientology forever because she said, Tory, so many OT8s died, I had to leave. It was just wrong.
That's crazy. What's killing all the OT8?
It's crazy.
Tory, I want to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Same to you and your listeners.
And I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday night to talk to us. And I think you're just the coolest, bravest chick rocking the scene.
I really appreciate it. And I want you to, if you get a chance, have you ever heard of the name Jamie DeWolf?
Oh, yeah. He's L. Ron Hubbard's great-grandson. And he does
Tourette's Without Regrets.
Yeah, he does Tourette's Without Regrets. Yeah, we know him.
Tourette's Without Regrets. And he's up there in San Francisco. And I told him I'm going to do this show. And he was going to call in, but I didn't have the phone number. So I'm just telling you, if you want, you might contact him for a different show and do it, because he's amazing.
I know
he's an
that,
amazing
dude.
person to hear.
Do you guys? Oh yeah, he's a direct descendant from L. Ron himself. That's crazy,
Absolutely,
right?
It's his great grandson.
But I just got a couple questions before you go. Do you have you know L. Ron and was hanging out with Jack Parsons and doing all that Crowley and black magic in L.A. before, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that? Do you think that stuff works? That magic stuff?
Of course not.
Do you guys? Does anyone have any questions for Tory before we let her go? No, we good?
Can you get me booked on Tourette's Without Regrets? It's a very fun show.
Call up Jamie. Get to know him, man. He's the one that asked me. He said, I don't even know if the show's going on tonight, so he's looking into it. So call him.
Okay, Tory. Everyone can watch your videos at ToryMagoo44 on YouTube, or just type in ToryMagoo, or I'll keep in touch with you, and I'm glad you're in love. That's good.
Yeah, thank you. And call anytime. I'm always available.
I think that after tonight's interview, it's safe to say we're all a little bit in love with you.
Can I ask you a question about when the term "going clear" is? It's like, was it conceived was it by the Scientologists to go with clear Pepsi back in the early 90s?
Can you turn Al's mic off?
Tory, did you like Going Clear?
I loved it. My very dear friends are in it. It's a wonderful show. It's a wonderful book. Alex Gibney did a fabulous job. Lawrence Wright wrote the book. If you didn't see the movie, read the book, because there's 200 people that are interviewed in the book.
Yeah, the book's way crazier. It's way better.
Yeah, it's really totally wild. But
do you
anyway,
know? Do you know Spanky?
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
that story really hit me hard in the gut. I'll tell you.
I know. I just talked to her about a half an hour ago.
Oh, we love you, Spanky. All right. Good night, Tory. Thank you so much. You're the best.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. How great is Tory Magoo?
She's great.
Huh?
And you know what? After that interview, I think I'm finally going to leave the church.
Yay!
It's
This
time.
was an intervention for Shelby, you guys, and I've been trying to get you out. You got to.
I teach Clay about slam metal. Tory teaches me about the evils of Scientology. We're all leaving here better educated people.
Thanks for sitting through that, Clay. I hope you stick around for the next
Sitting
hour.
through that was awesome.
It was. Thanks.
That was one of the better interviews you've done.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
No, I'm
That's
serious.
High,
It was like-
high praise from the master over here.
Yeah, master interview with fucking Crystal Pepsi over here.
Where did that come from?
Classic Al.
It doesn't make sense in any way.
No, it's clear Pepsi going clear. Like, did they like have conspire like getting